Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Director, as an American, do you believe that I have a right to own a home even if I can't afford it?
I think you have a right to own property, yes, own a home. Now, whether you can afford it opens up to whether you can actually buy that home. I mean, it's the same in terms of you have the right to drive a Mercedes. Whether you can afford it or not is a separate question.
Right.
So I'm not sure where you're going with the question, Senator. It'd be helpful for me to parse that out.
I want to understand your philosophy. Do you think that as an American, if I can't afford a home, I have a fundamental right to have other Americans subsidize me?
Thank you for the clarification. The short answer would be no.
Okay. But yet, I think everybody on this committee, I think everybody on this panel believes we ought to do everything possible to make homes and mortgages affordable.
Absolutely.
Okay? We can agree on that, right?
Absolutely, 100%.
Why would a lender make a loan without verifying income?
Agreed.
Why would they?
I think the only reason that a lender would reduce due diligence like verifying income is because they can pass that risk along to someone else, like the taxpayer.
Yeah, because they can sell it to you guys.
Absolutely.
I mean, isn't that the fundamental problem here? How we got in trouble was underwriting standards?
Absolutely. We are the ones holding the bag at the end of the day after everybody else in the process has made money and walked away. It is the taxpayer holding the bag.
Well, what have you done to fix that?
Well, Senator, we've begun, I guess tomorrow we're mark 5 months in the job. We've already started doing a bunch of due diligence internally, try to make sure that we have the regulatory scheme.
That wasn't a fair question. What did your predecessor do to fix that over 11 years?
Senator, I think that to me, I'm looking at what needs to be done going forward. I would have preferred to inherit a different situation than I did, but
excuse me for interrupting, but you know we're limited on time, Mr. Director. Have underwriting standards gotten any more realistic?
They've gotten worse, not better. Certainly at the GSEs, we saw a massive expansion in the last 2 years at least, where a whole lot of high DTI loans were done that weren't previously being done. So underwriting standards have eroded.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And it concerns me greatly.
Well, this is just one point of view. This whole thing is a car wreck. It's a dumpster fire. We spent $190 billion of taxpayer money, and we're in worse shape.
Agreed.
Now, here's what I think we ought to do. I'm not in love with every aspect of your plan, but I'd encourage you to get somebody to put it in the form of a bill if you haven't already, get it introduced, and let's mark it up in this committee, Mr. Chairman and Mr. Ranking Member. Let's put it in front of the committee, and let senators be senators, and let's try to put out the dumpster fire. What do we have to lose? I mean, how long have we been talking about that? Doing nothing is hard. You know why? You never know when you're finished.
Senator, I couldn't agree more.
Now, if that doesn't work, and I'm not going to mislead you, it's going to kind of be like trying to slam a revolving door, pass a bill through the Senate. I would encourage you, Mr. Director, to saddle up and go. Tell me what you can do with your administrative authority to put out this dumpster fire.
Well, the first thing we hope
And by that I mean encouraging people to make loans to people who clearly can't afford to pay them back.
Senator, we will be de-risking the GSEs, particularly in the...
What does that mean?
That means that, on one hand, if you're leveraged 1,000 to 1, you can't make loans that are almost guaranteed to go bad. So we have to be able to improve the quality of the lending at the GSEs in a way that is sustainable, that doesn't end up... I 100% agree. If we do nothing, this is going to end very badly.
Well, of course it is. We're going to have a recession at some point.
Absolutely.
What was the leverage ratio, Mr. Chairman? 19 cents for every $100?
That's what I understand.
1,000 to 1 at Fannie Mae.
Now, let me say it again. I got 1 second left. let's put this bill in front of this committee, Mr. Chairman and Mr. Ranking Member, and let's see what we can do. I listened to Sherrod's comments. He made some good points. I don't agree with all of them, but I think we ought to flesh it out. But if we're not, let's just admit that Congress is just going to sit on its ice cold lazy butt, do nothing, and you need to get started trying to fix this car wreck, Mr. Director. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.